Well, good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock, and we are going to get ready for day 3. So it's been great having you all here. I love the feedback that I'm getting, and I'm trying my best to going forward to incorporate whatever requests that you make into the workshop. So hopefully you had a chance to listen to the replays. I'm going to give everyone a few minutes to get started. And it's only 12 o'clock, so I'll leave a few minutes for everyone to jump in. Let's see, so we'll get started in about 2 minutes. I just have a message here. Let me just respond to that. They're trying to sign in. We can't get on, so give me one moment. Okay, it looks like it was the connection on their side, so they're in. Wonderful. Okay, I'll give it one more minute and then we'll get started, just in case there's any stragglers, people trying to sign in. We'll give it one more moment. Looks like we still have some people coming in. I see everyone signing on. So it's 12:02. We'll start at about 12:03. Just give a few more minutes for people to jump in. We might have some stragglers. Okay, it's 12:03, so let's get started. And again, welcome. This is day 3. I should have mentioned this before, but for anyone, if you don't have a pen and paper, you may want to take notes. I have some suggestions. I received requests from a few people on dealing with stress during the holidays. Stress and happiness go hand in hand. I'm going to create a couple of different days around stress. These are some just quick activities that you can do to help deal with the stress. So again, as I've said in the past, if you have any questions at all, go ahead and post them in the chat. I've enabled the chat. If I don't respond right away, just give me a moment because I'm looking at the PowerPoint screen. And there's also a delay. There's usually about a 1-minute delay from the time that you put your question in. So just I just want to let you know I am going back and forth and checking it. I just might not be able to answer it instantaneously. A bit about me, I am a certified life coach. I am also a trainer on the science of happiness. Together with the tools that I have and the experience that I have through coaching and my training, I've created this program. So it really touches my heart to be able to reach as many people as possible, especially during the holiday season. The holidays are a very difficult time for so many people, and I really want to try to do my best to help others, to really be able to change lives, to give people alternatives, and let people know that you don't need to be depressed, you don't need to be stressed. There are options out there. So my goal is to do the best that I can to reach as many people as possible. That being said, I want to remind you that if you've registered for the webinar, you can go ahead and pass this information along to anyone that you know. I'm going to leave a message in the chat box. There we go. And as a reminder, that's the link where you can pass that along, give that to anyone for so they can go ahead and sign up. And you may know someone who is dealing with a hard time, who really needs to have the support, the community, the feedback, distractions even, just to learn how to deal with all of this. And whatever the case may be, if you know someone that's having a hard time this holiday season, I urge you to pass this along. My goal, like I said, is to reach as many people as possible. It's free. As long as you are signed up, you'll get the automatic replay within 24 hours. You know, sometimes you can't always attend the event. I'm doing my best to try to keep it at 5 o'clock for most days to keep it consecutive, but of course, that's hard to do for 30 days straight. So these are all live slides that I create within 24 hours based upon the requests that you are all sending me. So I'm also going to put my email address on the side column. And for anyone who is listening to the replay, it'll either be in the comments below if you're listening to the replay, or you're going to get it in the email, all of the links that you need. You'll have the links to pass along to give friends to sign up. Have the link you'll already obviously have my email if you have any questions. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. And again, we're on day 3 now. So today's focus is going to be dealing with stress during the holidays. There's some quick little tips that I've researched and put together for you. Some are just activities that you can do to deal with stress. Others are going to be different outlooks on how to deal with stress. First being is get some sunlight. You know, it's a day-old remedy. And if you increase you're going to increase your serotonin levels, and it helps to relieve the seasonal affective disorder. So try to get as much sunlight as you can. You know, you can spend some time, make sure your windows are open. You know, don't keep your home or your apartment dark, and get outside for a little while, even if it's a quick walk. Just make sure that you have some time that you're enjoying the sunlight. And if your apartment or your home is dimly lit, maybe you don't have great sunlight coming into your home, there are natural lights out there that mimic the outdoor light or mimic sunlight. So you want to look into those. This is a very common time of year that people are dealing with seasonal affective disorder. So I highly recommend that if your apartment or your home is dim and you feel yourself being down, never underestimate the power of sunlight. So go ahead and look into that. Next is to inhale citrus. I thought this was pretty interesting, and without realizing it, I've done it myself, but I didn't know there were actual studies behind it. And it actually increases your levels of norepinephrine, which I had no idea. I happen to love the scent of grapefruit and tangerine, and when I'm feeling tired, I have body oils that I put on, and it perks me up. I thought it was my own personal preference. I had no idea that there was an actual science behind it. But when I did some research, that's what I found out. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Go for a walk. This bounces off of what I was saying before with the sunlight, but the studies have shown in research that the constant repetitious motion and the rhythmic steps that you're doing during walking, it actually tranquilizes the brain and helps to release anxiety. So, you know, when you see that people are upset and they say, oh, I need to go for a walk, it is actually working. It is actually doing something for them. It's not just the person running out the door. There's an actual process that's going along with that. And it will also improve your quality of sleep. So if you're having trouble sleeping, you might want to go ahead and have and put more walking time into your schedule. It's okay to say no. You have to remember to make time for you to take care of yourself. If you're constantly doing for everyone else, afraid to say no, and want to please everyone, you're absolutely going to get burnt out this holiday season. So remember to take time for you. It could be as brief as a 15-minute bath. And that alone time that you have, that relaxation time you have, maybe it's 15 minutes to meditate in the morning before you start your day, or 15 minutes, meditating at the end of the day to unwind. Whatever it is that works for you, that is your alone time, your precious time where you're taking care of you, that's extremely important. And practice saying no. You don't have it. Some people struggle with this, and they want to please everyone. They don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but they forget about themselves in the process. So before you say yes, give that good old 10-second pause and think about what it is that you're committing to before you do it. This is something that myself personally I have struggled with for years, because I would say yes to everyone, overextend myself, and not know what to do. So I've learned to kind of think it through before I commit, because if you're not taking care of you, how are you going to take care of others? So you really need to make sure that you remember to put yourself in the mix of the day. I know it's not easy, especially having a spouse, children. I'm not going to say that you have to always put yourself first, because I know that's not always possible, especially during the holidays. Sometimes we do sacrifice. But you have to put yourself into the mix. Don't leave yourself at the bottom of the list. Try your best to create a routine, and when you can, plan your day. Of course, things are going to happen, and plans never are 100% when you write them down. But don't underestimate the power of a list. Write things down, cross it off. You're also going to, as you see things crossed off, it's going to give you a feeling of satisfaction that you've completed these things. It also is going to give you a sense of order, of knowing what you have left to prioritize. When you're very busy and you have all these things going on and your mind is going 90 miles an hour and you have all these things to take care of, keeping it all in your head and expecting yourself to remember it is quite a big challenge. So you may be someone who likes to write on paper. You might have an electronic calendar that you use on your phones. There might be a task manager you have on your phone. There's so many different ways now that you can do lists. Do what works for you. I still like good old-fashioned paper. I try my best to use these electronic calendars, and while I've gone with the times and I've built my website and I've done these webinars and PowerPoint presentations, I can't seem to do an online calendar or an online task list. There's something about my pen hitting the paper and crossing it off that just gives me such a great deal of satisfaction that hitting the delete button on the computer doesn't give me. That's my preference. So find what works for you, but definitely plan out your days, write things down, and prioritize. Maybe you want to write everything down and then put them in number order, whatever works for you. Or put them, as you're putting them into your online calendar, put the time in that you think that you want to have them done by. The most important thing is, while you're doing this and you're creating the time for all these other tasks, make sure that you're putting in there that time frame for yourself. Whether it's 15-minute breaks throughout the day, whatever it is that you need. Everyone's going to be different on what they need. But the main goal is to have time for yourself in this process. I'm going to recommend that you let go of the need to do it perfectly. Don't sweat the small stuff. Remember, the holidays are supposed to be fun. They're not supposed to be perfect. Allow yourself to laugh. If you make a mistake, laugh about it. We are not meant to be perfect. We are human. We are flaws. We are accepted. We embrace your flaws, embrace your mistakes, laugh about them, learn from them, enjoy them. But don't put so much pressure on yourself that everything has to be perfect, because in the end, you are going to be exhausted and you're not going to enjoy any of the things that you're doing. And while you're doing these great things for other people, you also deserve to have some inner peace and be happy during the holidays. Maybe this holiday you want to start creating new customs. If you're feeling depressed, isolated, or lonely during the holiday, or maybe even you have too many traditions. Try doing some new things. Find something that is your tradition, your custom, and that makes you happy. So what's something that you've always wanted to do? Maybe, you've always wanted to have a mistletoe and your family or friends don't really do that. Well, give yourself a mistletoe and everyone that comes in the door, embrace them with a hug and kiss. Or, what is your thing? What is something that you love for the holidays? Maybe you have a recipe that you love but you've never really shared with everyone. Well, make that your thing, that now when holidays come, this is what you're going to be known for, and you're going to bring it to other people's houses when you're visiting, when they come over, and they know, oh, I can't wait to see such and such because they're going to make that great whatever. Or, maybe you have a different twist on holidays that you want to share with people that you haven't had a chance to do. Whatever the case may be, make it your own for the holiday. It doesn't have to be that you're catering to everyone else's customs. Of course, you're not going to disrespect the customs of others and things that you've been doing all along, but when you start to have something that you created that's your own, it has a different feeling to it. Ask for help. Ask individuals personally. Don't put it in a bulk email. Don't put it in a bulk message. And please do not put it as a Facebook post. If you need help, think about who you need help from and ask them. If you put a post on Facebook or you send out a message and you ask for help, for one, everyone's going to think that the other person is doing it and no one's going to step up because they're going to assume it's taken care of. But if you're asking for someone personally, they know that you're asking them specifically for help, and you have a better likelihood of getting it. If you ask for help in a generalized message and no one responds, that's probably why. Everyone assumes the other person has already done it. Ask people individually, but don't be afraid. When you're overwhelmed, acknowledge that within yourself and ask others. Enjoy every moment. You can't create precious moments when you're glued to the TV, your computers, your cell phones, all this technology. I'm sure you've seen, all these different videos going around where people are saying, you can't always be on your phone, you can't always be on your computer, and it's true. There's a time and place for it. But create memories and time together so that you can look back, take pictures, play games, talk to each other, but create memories in everything that you do. Be present and enjoy those around you, and involve people in the activities. So if you had to bake 200 cookies by tomorrow, that could be overwhelming. You could say, oh my God, how am I going to do this? I have 200 cookies to bake by tomorrow. How am I supposed to do this? I have to take care of this, this, and this. And all of a sudden you're in your head, you're stressed out, you're upset. Well, why don't you make it fun? How about you invite your friends and family over, make a cookie party. Everybody has some wine or hot chocolate, and you're talking and you're having fun and everybody's hanging out. And before you know it, the time flies by, you got your 200 cookies done, and you're happy. So something that you really don't like doing or something that's feeling overwhelming to you, put a twist on it and make it fun. Again, holidays are supposed to be fun. They're not supposed to be stressful. Invite your kids in to do it. When I was a kid, I loved baking with my mom. I remember, I was so intrigued by getting the eggs into the mix and mixing it up and watching them in the oven. I just used to sit there and stare into the oven. So, if you have children, invite your children to help you with the cookies. And just make it fun. It does not have to be work. Everything doesn't have to be work. And I could resist. Get some more honey, honey. For a quick pick-me-up, honey will provide you the boost that you need. What I love about honey is it includes antioxidants and antibacterial properties. So not only is it going to give you that quick little sugar boost, it's natural, and it's also helping you when you're stressed. Stressed, you have a greater likelihood of getting sick, and your immune system is going to be hit if you're under a great amount of stress. By the increased amount of antioxidants and antibacterial properties in honey, you are able to help build up your immune system at the same time. So that's a great little tip that I can share with you. Good thing to know is that the darker the honey you get, and I should also mention if you get the raw honey, it's much more powerful and has a higher level of antioxidants and antibacterial properties. So you want to shoot for getting the raw honey and a darker honey. You can go to the natural section in your supermarket, a health food store, maybe you have a local farmer's market, but you definitely want the darker honey. And don't forget to eat when you're busy. If you're on the go, it's important to remember to carry some snacks with you. Have something that's going to keep your sugar levels balanced. Some fruit, nuts, bars. They have, all those grain, natural grain bars. Something that's healthy and that's going to sustain you. If you imagine the midst of a holiday craze, if you went to the mall or did your holiday shopping, you're running errands, getting your last minute, things done. The last thing you want to do is have your blood levels drop. Because what's going to happen is you're going to become irritable, you're going to have a hard time paying attention, you're not going to want to be there anymore, you're just going to want to be done with it and go home. Because you're going to be frustrated and your patience is going to be depleted. So keep something in your pocket, in your pocketbook, in the car, whatever you have with you, and just that way you can grab it quick. For me, I love bananas. I always carry bananas if I know I'm going to be out for a long day. I keep a banana in the car, and if I'm feeling hungry, that's what I grab. So do what works for you, but you want to make sure that it's something that is, a healthy snack. Take time and look for the positive. Focusing on the negative and the overwhelm is going to trigger your body's fight or flight response. So I'm sure you've heard of the fight or flight response, where if your body thinks it's in danger when you're in the fight or flight response, it's going to think that you have to be protected. It doesn't know the difference of stress, meaning that you're angry at someone or things like that, as opposed to you're in danger. All your body recognizes is it needs to protect itself. When you're constantly in the protection mode, your body is going to be tense, it is going to be sore, and you are going to be exhausted. So try not to focus on the negative or the feeling of overwhelm. If you struggle if you struggle finding positive. If you struggle focusing on the negative and you have a hard time finding the positive, this 30-day course is going to be really helpful for you, because as you can see already, by day 3, I'm covering from A to Z. I'm trying to do it in somewhat of a logical pattern, with the exception of when people come to me and ask me for help, I try to cater the message to what people are asking. But we're always going to go back to the basics and the tools of happiness. We have 27 days to go. So if you're struggling on finding happiness, finding balance, dealing with your emotions, just stick with this course. You're going to learn a lot in these next 30 days. There's no need for you to be alone. Reach out to people. If you don't have people in your local community that you know, friends that you know, family, look for places that you can volunteer. When you're volunteering and helping others, it really lifts your spirits. You can inquire in community centers. Maybe there's some programs you can join and start to build a new community for yourself. And if there's a particular local church that you're involved in, start to get involved in their activities. But most importantly, don't stay home alone. When you're feeling down, isolated, depressed, push yourself to get out the door and do something. During the holidays, it's a time where a lot of disagreements come up. If you're having struggles dealing with any friends or family during the holidays and you're together at a gathering, just put your differences aside. Accept who they are in the moment. This is not the time to deal with problems or arguments. Just let things go, at least for the day. Set aside your differences for another time to discuss. There's a time and place for everything, and during the holidays at a family dinner is not the time. If while you're having your holiday celebration things go sour, try to be understanding of the other person's needs. It's not going to be about right or wrong at that moment. Listen to their needs and acknowledge them. Hear what they're saying. Don't be so quick to respond or to give a quick answer. Hear them out. Try and speak with them privately rather than in front of everyone. And try to determine what they need beneath what they're saying. So if someone comes to you with an angry response, anger is not the issue. It's what's below the anger. Is there hurt? Is there pain? Is there grief? Is there sadness? Is there loneliness? What is behind the anger? Is there a feeling of, regret? Whatever it is. But listen to what's behind what they're saying. What is underneath the message? What is underneath what they're saying? Because if they say something in haste, they're not saying what their true response is. And we're going to go more into that later. Money during the holidays. Create a budget and stick to it. Do what you can. If you saw my message yesterday, and if you haven't, go back and listen to day 2, where I talk about materialism and consumerism. Do what you can. It's not about these large gifts. Go back to day 2. Listen to what I said. You'll understand this message so much more. Material possessions do not provide long-term happiness. It's proven. There's studies behind it. It's not just my opinion. We often want to buy things to impress others. But do what you can. Don't exceed your budget. Don't put yourself in debt for Christmas. Do what you can, or whatever holiday you celebrate. Do what you can for others. It's not about the price tag. It's about giving from the heart. A gesture, something that is coming from you, from your heart, they're going to appreciate, they're going to remember. Most importantly, if you're really struggling this holiday season, and I say this is a very serious message that I'm saying. If you're really struggling during this holiday season, if you're finding that you are constantly feeling sad, depressed, anxious, hopeless, or you just can't keep up with the day-to-day activities, there's options out there, and seek professional help. I'm going to do my best I can to give you tools to get through this holiday season, but if it's more than you can handle, there's options. So please reach out, seek support, go to a local center, speak to someone professionally, and get help. That's what I ask from you. So this is the end of our session today. We're going to have another one tomorrow and for the next 27 days. So please share this message with anyone that you can. Please ask me specifically what you need help with during the holidays. If there's something that you struggle with, I'm never going to mention your name. I'll keep that confidential. But let me know specifically what you need. If you're stressed, what are you stressed about? If you're having problems with your family, what are the problems that you're having? Send me an email. It's confidential. It's private. It's between me and you and no one else, and I'll do my best I can to respond. If you're having problems with money during the holidays, what is the problem you are having? Make it as specific as you can. Share with me your story. I'm going to do the best I can to reach out to each and every one of you that email me during these next 30 days. So this is it. Enjoy your day, and hopefully the weather by you is better than me. It is pouring outside, and that's it. So have a great day. Bye-bye.